All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we got some pretty grim news, not only in the crypto markets, but in the whole worldwide market. It looks like we're getting close to another 2008 housing crisis type deal. So the crypto markets suddenly lose $250 billion in value as Evergrande turmoil pummels Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other major cryptocurrencies, as well as the S&P, the Nasdaq, etc. So it looks like we kind of have a black swan type deal going on here, a Lehman Brothers event, if you will. So the climax, I suppose, of the 2008 housing crisis was Lehman Brothers bankruptcy, and we all know what happened there. And now that's happening again. Now, I usually save CoinGecko for the last, but just look at the destruction across the board. Now, I've certainly seen worse in crypto. We're only down to 42,000 Bitcoin, so we're still significantly higher than we were years back, obviously. But cryptocurrency prices plunged Monday morning during a widespread market sell-off sparked by concerns of a potentially catastrophic debt default in China, pushing many of the world's largest digital currencies to their lowest levels in more than a month. The value of the world's cryptos plunged to a low of less than $1.9 trillion, which, again, is a little silly considering a couple years back we were lower than $1 trillion. But this is looking pretty grim. And I'll be keeping up on this to see exactly what happens with this. I think the whole planet should be keeping up on this. Heading up market value losses, the price of Bitcoin dipped 9%, less than $42,669. So I have the Coinbase app on my phone, and on there you can look at the top gainers and top losers. And it's like the top 100 coins. And you can certainly do that on a bunch of different platforms. But just for example, I did that earlier, and I clicked on top gainers, and there were three coins that were in the positive, in green. Every other coin was deep in red, upwards of 20+%. So even skyrocketing tokens like Solana and Cardano plunged about 10% from the sell-off. So again, a lot of people think that cryptocurrency might be a great hedge against the stock market crashing or something like that. And I don't think it's ready for it. I think the institutions have sort of merged into it a little bit too much. I've been talking about this for well over a year now, that as soon as everything starts to go, people are going to have to sell off their Bitcoin, et cetera, to one, just to pay their bills like the average person. But if you're talking on an institutional level, they're going to have to sell their assets for liquidity and to pay their debts elsewhere. So in a Monday note, Jonas Luthi, again, my top world-class pronunciation, of digital asset broker Global Block, said the sudden pullback occurred after shares of Chinese real estate giant Evergrande, which has more than $305 billion in liabilities, plunged to their lowest levels in 11 years, triggering a stark sell-off as analysts warned the company's potential collapse would pose risks to the broader market. In case you don't know what Evergrande is, it's a Chinese real estate company. Luthi also pointed increasing regulatory scrutiny as a reason for the panic selling, with Bloomberg reporting over the weekend that Binance, the world's largest crypto, is under investigation by U.S. regulators for possible insider trading. And as prices crashed, El Salvador president announced the nation took advantage and bought the dip. So not only that they owe $305 billion, I have read elsewhere that it's significantly larger than that, but in just a couple days, they actually have to pay off their debts. And in a few days from now, they have to pay $100 million in interest payments to their investors. And if we take a look at their stock, that doesn't exist. So the more interest that has to be paid out to all of the investors, the less this stock is going to do. And the mass sell-off, because they're probably going to go under. If they go under, a lot of things go with it. And this isn't just going to be China, because the whole global market is connected. But just take a look at this stock for a little bit here. So in about 2016 or 17, here, more like 2017, we got up to like $4 for Evergrande, and now it is literally 33 cents. So it is absolutely destroyed in terms of the price here. If we go to the 5%, you can see down 52%. And that's only because we got this little bit of lower end here. So it's likely even more than that, probably 60, 70, 80% from the high. And this is not good at all. So Evergrande, China's second largest property developer, alerted banks last week that it would be unable to make debt payments due this month, sparking a sharp drop in the Chinese real estate sector. The losses quickly spread to broader markets as experts started warning its default could potentially create a Lehman Brothers moment. Market analyst Tom Essay, author of the Seventh Report, wrote in a note last week referring to the U.S. investment bank that collapsed at the onset of the Great Recession. There isn't enough clarity on how Evergrande's challenges may affect the global economy, and that uncertainty is enough to spook markets. Alongside historic adoption measures, buzz around the digital collectibles as non-fungible tokens sparked a nearly 50% crash in early May, though it's still down nearly 25% from all-time high 4 months ago. So everything is down right now, and it's looking pretty bad. So even here, just talking about the stock markets, which I believe are getting more and more correlated by the day with the cryptocurrency market, that if the stock goes down, what are people going to do? They're going to sell their Bitcoin. Now, some people obviously might take advantage of that, and of course, buy the dip, and you probably should. But the idea is that people are going to have liquidity. People are going to have to pay their debts. People are going to have to pay their debtors off. And, one thing they're going to do that with is cryptocurrency. And for the average person, hold on to your Bitcoin or buy soup, if there was a major depression or something like that. And I think that choice is generally pretty clear for a lot of people. Dow books worst day in 9 weeks as debt woes for China's Evergrande rattle the stock market. So yes, stock markets tumbled Monday, but finished well above session lows as investors parsed the potential impact of a reeling property developer in China, and traders positioned ahead of a 2-day meeting of the Federal Reserve policymakers that begins Tuesday. So the Dow Jones fell 1.78%. The S&P down 1.7%. The NASDAQ down 2.19%. Small cap Russell down 2.44%. So this is looking pretty grim here. They owe basically $1 billion, this company. They owe $100 million in interest payments in a couple days. This week they had to make several payments to their bankers, which they're just like, we can't make them. And nobody can even sell this stock really because it's 33 cents. So that's probably what the company would do, is try to pawn off some of the stock or pawn off some of their real estate in order to pay off these banks. But they just don't have it. And if this is a potentially a big black swan event in the stock market, and I'm not surprised by that it's coming from China this time. Moving on here, just to show the longs liquidated were 1.74 billion in 24 hours worth of crypto trading entirely. So, it's like 13.69 million here, etc. And it all adds up to $1.74 billion worth of longs wrecked as the price goes down. However, El Salvador taking advantage of the dip, buys Bitcoin dip as top coins tumble. So they're kind of taking a micro strategy look, and I also like the laser eyes on the president there. Nayib Bukele, again, that pronunciation, so good. The president of El Salvador revealed that the Latin American country purchased 150 more Bitcoin while prices were declining on Monday morning. Go El Salvador, why not? The leading cryptocurrency plummeted by 6.9% over the last 24 hours, changing hands around $45,000 at the time. And everything else is down, it goes on to say. I just wonder, though, where is the money coming from to buy this? I mean, this is essentially taxpayer money buying Bitcoin, but how is this Bitcoin going to be returned exactly? But again, CoinGecko here down significantly in 7 days. So some coins just down 5 to 7%, but you can see here many down even more. And in the 24 hours, trying to make a slight recovery there of 2.2%, but it's not really cutting the cake compared to the 24 hour and the 1 day, or actually it's just a 1 hour mark right there. So in 24 hours, down nearly 10% for Bitcoin. And again, if you click to the gainers of the day, it's like 3. And they're basically all stable coins, except OMG for some reason. And then everything else is just a loser, literally everything else for the whole day. So like, again, you can see here the 1 hour, we're starting to try to come back a little bit. People are buying the dip, but will that last? I'm not really sure. But down 22%. to the max in terms of the top 100 coins. But that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you're watching your portfolios for sure. Make sure you're watching the stocks as well. Make sure you're watching everything because this could be bad. And if you are interested in your portfolio in any way, shape, or form, I would keep an update on this situation. But that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. As usual, I'll see you guys next time.